Hey everyone, Elektra here. I have a lot to talk about, I think. So, yeah, I went to a new group trans meeting. Well, no, it wasn't trans. It was this group LGBTQIA here in Lake County, Illinois. And honestly, there were a lot of things I was concerned about, and caught me off guard, took me by surprise. First of all, was the security situation, which was virtually nil. The one I used to go to in St. Louis was very secure. There was even a telephone call screening process you had to go through in order to even learn the time and location of the meetings. And this group met completely unsecured in their known space that's well publicized, and anyone off the street could walk right in the front door anytime they wanted. In fact, like somebody did walk in like over an hour into the session, which was like only an hour and a half long, and that definitely made me nervous. And so essentially this whole group of us LGBTQIA people were in this meeting last night just sitting ducks. I don't know if this is like normal for blue areas and blue states, being just kind of naive about our security and our situation. But I mean, geez, coming from red states like I do, like outside of 5 years I lived in Southern California 20 years ago or so, like in Texas and in Missouri, you just like assume everyone has a gun, and it really dictates almost everything you do. And I brought this up in the meeting and made it clear that like I just was concerned. I wanted to just bring it up because somebody else in the meeting brought it up first and said, it was her first time ever at any sort of like queer meeting at all, and she like said she's like actually nervous because she feels like she's just in like this, she's just got this target on her back just by being there. And that's what made me think like there's nothing secure about this place at all. Like it's publicized on their website. They publicize the day and the time every week. It's on their website. It's public information. You can probably find this yourself in the next 30 seconds if you try. And there's nothing to stop anyone from walking right in there. It is an extremely soft target. And I guess I just think like this, being from red states where most people own guns. It's even in the city of St. Louis, most people own guns. Yeah, and I don't know if this is just like blue state naivety, thinking like, oh, we're fine, we're safe, no one's out there, no one's in Lake County, Illinois coming to get us, but we're basically on the verge of the countryside. We're very far north Chicagoland. I feel like that's a very naive thing to think in 2025, that a meeting place of queer people is not a target. And that's essentially what the leader of this group said. That basically they don't want to have screening calls because they think that's a barrier to entry for someone that might have social anxiety. And it's like that. No one ever thought that was an issue in St. Louis. I mean, really, to me, safety should always come first. And if that's the one thing you just can't get over, then maybe just groups aren't for you. That's the way I look at it. But and likewise, this group may not be for me because I don't feel like they're putting safety and security first. I have some possible judgments about why that might be. I think people in that organization may have some they actually do have political aspirations, and I feel like they need to have this complete open door, black and complete, like full open transparency to a fault. I normally believe in full open transparency, but I also believe in safety and security, and I don't feel like there was any at this meeting last night. So how do LGBTQ groups and trans groups specifically, I will say the trans group, it was a trans group in St. Louis, so maybe that's why this security was a little bit higher. Here it was just like open umbrella, total umbrella, LGBTQIA, everyone. So there were trans people in there last night, there were non-trans, there were just non-binary, you know, gay, straight, queer of all kinds. And yeah, so I'm like, okay, I don't know how I can go to this consistently if it's like, if I'm just gonna be worried about somebody coming in this place with a gun every time. And then people were like kind of misinterpreting my concern as like a desire for self-defense. And I'm like, no, I shouldn't have to self-defend. I'm not doing anything wrong. I just want to be safe and secure. There's a difference. I don't want to carry a gun in defense. Like, and then somebody in this group even said like, oh, someone in this group may quote unquote be concealed carrying, you know, he didn't want to, or yeah, I think it was he didn't want to admit it. But you know, I said like, that doesn't make me feel any better. That just means we're more likely to get shot ourselves. You know, he essentially used the good guy with a gun theory to justify why he should be why being concealed carry is totally fine anywhere. Yeah. So it's views like these, and I'm just like wondering like, what am I even doing in this country? Like, if this is how the northern blue states are, I don't know. Are they just in denial up here about our situation and how people are? I don't like, am I ahead of the curve in a way because I'm from the South and from a red state and spent most of my life down there, and I know what time it really is. I know what the temperature is, and I'm wondering if people up here don't. And that explains a lot about the Democratic Party's choices, let's say, for the last few years, for sure. That they're still if they're naive and still have their heads in the sand, that this is just like not a real problem. Everything around us is, it definitely explains the lack of urgency. So, sorry for the midday rant, but I'm here. It's actually nice and cooled off today. I'm wearing my trench coat for the first time. It is an authentic Burberry that was an heirloom from my maternal grandfather. So this is like circa, I'm guessing probably the 80s, maybe as early as the 70s, I'm not sure. But it was purchased in Milwaukee, where they lived at the time, which is only about 40 miles from where I now live, here in Lake County, Illinois. And yeah, it's a nice day. It's cloudy. It's definitely starting to feel like fall. It rained like all night last night, and earlier this morning it was still damp, and now we got some blue skies showing up to the north, so the cold front's moving through. And thank you for watching. What do you think about all this? Whether you're queer or not, like, is this just normal for the North to almost assume that, like, trust me, I really wish I could assume the better angels of everyone's natures, but we can't. We just can't do it. We cannot assume the best of people this day and age. I wish we could. I hate that I don't. But yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like following the travails of a 45-year-old transgender male to female with level 1 autism, anxiety, depression, bipolar 2, provisional ADHD, and see you on the next one. Bye.